I hope you love the great outdoors and mesmerizing magic, because we're about to look at 10 objects from the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack that you need to start using. As always, we'll look at 5 standout objects, as well as 5 that I believe to be underused. Let's go. First up is a standout, being the Nature Press. And this nifty object lets you craft all sorts of whimsical nature-themed art and even a couple of candles. But while it doesn't require any skill levels to use and produces objects near instantly, it also has a catch. And this is that you'll need the required produce and a few simoleons to craft things using the Nature Press. Though the good news is that depending on what you make with it, you can absolutely use it to earn a few simoleons. Also know that if you select to decorate items with florals, then you'll create a purely decorative artwork or candle. However, if you instead choose to decorate enchanted items with florals, then crafted objects will additionally cost 1 pile of fairy dust and they'll come with an emotional aura. Many of the art pieces come with happy emotional auras, whereas candles often give off flirty emotional auras. So they're great for creating pleasing environments or romantic settings. Plus, some of the artworks are just so cute, like an owl with sunflower eyes. Yes please. Now let's move on to an underused object, being the Starseed Teleporter. The what now, you ask? Yes, the Starseed Teleporter, which is pretty much a magic rock. One of these exists within the Everdew area of Inner Screen. However, if you complete Care Wren's Stubborn Misfortune Fable, then you'll also be rewarded with one of these for your own lot. And note that Care Wren can be found nearby to the Mossvale Fairy Hub within Everdew. Once obtained, this Starseed Teleporter will simply let you teleport to some of the most secret, remote locations in an instant, for the cost of 1 fairy dust of course, or 2 fairy dust if you're trying to teleport a group. With just the base game, you can teleport to the hidden worlds of the Sylvan Glade and the Forgotten Grotto. However, with Realm of Magic, you can also teleport to the Magic Realm, with Get to Work the alien homeworld of Sixam, and with Snowy Escape the peak of Mount Komorebi. And this covers most of the more obscure and out-of-the-way locations that are visually stunning. Back to a standout object now, and we're going to turn our attention to the 3 magical plants, being the Moody Shrub, Lightning Root, and Aura Blossom. The easiest way to get these is to purchase them at Clover's Seeds and Supply Shop within the Spruceberry Grove area of Inner Screen, but note that only 1 of each plant will come in stock each day. Now all of these plants are pretty cool and have their own unique effects. You can harvest Moody Shrubs for bottled emotions, with the plant giving 3 random emotion potions each time you collect from it. This being said, you can also use an emotion potion to change the shrub's mood to that of a single emotion, and this will mean that collecting from it grants 3 emotion potions that match the mood of the plant. So for example, a happy Moody Shrub will give 3 happy emotion potions when collected from. And of course, emotion potions can be drunk to give your sim a corresponding moodlet, and in the case of fairies, drinking them will also replenish their emotional force need. Lightning Root plants can have lightning root leaves harvested from them, which are useful ingredients in Apothercary. Just be careful harvesting them though, as this can lead to electrocution, and if electrocuted twice in a row, then these plants can be deadly. On top of this, while plants are in a mature state, they can be connected to your power grid and provide you with quite a bit of electricity. Just note that there is a bug whereby if a plant is blossoming, then the option to connect them to your power grid won't appear. Fingers crossed this gets fixed. Finally, there's the Aura plant, which is perhaps the most interesting plant of the 3, and you can collect Aura petals from these, which are another useful apothecary ingredient. On top of this, the plant will give off 1 of 7 auras, and for the cost of 1 fairy dust, you can select the aura of your choice to have it give off. These auras can improve or lower a sim's luck or balance, cause nearby plants to become naturally enchanted, ward off potential pixie infestations, or even just give nearby sims a happy moodlet and slightly replenish their needs. All in all, a pretty good plant. Truthfully, all 3 of them are. Next up is another underused object, being the Glaswood Tree. One of these exists within the Spruceberry Grove area of Inner Screen, but should you complete Spruce Almighty's Not Mushroom for Error Fable, then you'll also be rewarded with your very own Glaswood Tree. Now you can view a Glaswood Tree, though much more interestingly you can also select summon on it to bring forth Spruce Almighty. You can ask Spruce about their creations, being plant sims and gnomes, to find out more about them, and you can also ask Spruce to help you with luck and even gardening, provided that you have some plants for him to care for. So essentially you get a cool tree and a gardening friend, and of course Spruce is a bit of a hottie, so there's potentially a gardening friend to lover's storyline there to explore as well. Note that the Glaswood Tree will glow, however it'll lose its glow when Spruce is summoned and in the world, and regain it after Spruce returns to the tree. The 5th object we'll look at is a standout that we all knew would be here, being the Fairy Home, which is an absolute necessity for any fairy sim. Fairy sims are able to use this home in a number of ways, including to regenerate their emotional force need, to sleep to boost their energy need, to take baths to fix their hygiene need, and additionally to throw dance parties which boost their fun need. Also, provided they're throwing a party with other fairies, it'll replenish their social need too. So really it's your all-in-one fairy care object. On top of this, sleeping and throwing dance parties within the fairy home will see it accumulate fairy dust that you'll then be able to shake from it. And so it's a really good way to get some fairy dust while passively caring for your sim. Both fairies and normal sims can shake a fairy home for dust, and on top of this, normal sims can interact with the fairy home to read fairy tales as well. Now let's return back to an underused object, being the Forest Soiree Bar Back. Now this is purely cosmetic, but it's also stunning and can have such a big impact on any space. Of course you can use it for its intended purpose of being a bar back, but it also has a huge range of swatches that make for an awesome photo shoot backdrop as well. Plus, if you're holding any sort of event, creating a mystical garden, or just need to add some magic to a space, its impact seriously can't be overlooked. I'm a big fan. Back to a standout object we go, being the Leafy Ledge Apothecary Table. Notably, you can use this to purchase some basic apothecary ingredients, and you can even store potion ingredients within this object. But of course its main benefit is in letting you train up the apothecary skill and craft apothecary concoctions. Choosing to study apothecary cures lets you train up the apothecary skill without using any ingredients. But of course, after obtaining a couple of ingredients, you can use it to craft a range of nifty things. Notably, this includes cures for all of the ailments, as well as various elixirs with all sorts of effects, lucky or unlucky charms, emotion stones, emotion potions, and more. Honestly, there's quite a bit that you can craft. And of course, this is an absolute must-have object if your sim enters into the naturopath career and aims to treat various patients. Another thing that I want to quickly mention that I think goes unnoticed is to also make use of the Leafy Ledge Apothecary Storage Cabinet, as this item can specifically store any and all of your apothecary elixirs, which is really handy for if you don't want your inventory to end up filled with a million things. Now let's turn our attention to a pair of underused objects, being the all-natural apothecary stall and the Num Num's market stall. You can find these within Inner Screen, with the apothecary stall being located within Spruceberry Grove and Num Num's stall being located within the coast of Edmore. This being said, you can also purchase these stalls on your home lot or place them on community lots and then hire vendors to run them, after which you can use them to purchase various things. The apothecary stall is a little more useful, as it can be used to buy a range of apothecary ingredients including emotion potions and even some fully made elixirs as well, while Num Num's stall isn't quite as good, as it most notably sells gnomes, which can for the most part just be purchased in buy mode. And now let's move on to the final standout object, being tabletop plant pots. And these come in a range of styles. Trust me, they're great. Now, unlike your regular garden pots, which are kind of huge and take up a full tile, these are much smaller. And I also just think that most plants look better in them. Plus, they can be placed on a huge range of surfaces rather than simply on the ground, which makes them awesome for decorating. Of course, you can plant the new live houseplants in them, but also also a huge range of regular plants can also be grown in these. Note that not everything can be grown in them though, so you'll still need the large plant pots for quite a few different plants. Also know that you can purchase seeds from these smaller plots and buy tabletop seed packets, which will be filled with plants that you'll be able to grow in these smaller pots. Our final note is that if you have the Business and Hobbies expansion pack, then these are treated like pottery, and some of these pots can even be crafted with level 3 of the pottery skill. Plus with level 10 pottery and a kiln, you'll be able to glaze the pots to make them unbreakable. Overall, I feel that these pots completely revolutionize indoor gardening and greenhouses, allowing for way more customization and different aesthetics. And now the final underused objects that we'll look at are the Crystalline Jet Bathtub and Waterfall Shower. Now honestly yes, these objects really just are a shower and a bath, but they look so gorgeous that they deserve a mention for aesthetics alone. Seriously, they're stunning and can help to bring to life a beautiful outdoor setting. Plus the shower is functional off the grid as well, which is a big win. And that's 10 objects from the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack that you need to start using. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then you can also check out some of my other videos on objects you need if that interests you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing day. See you later!